I am no longer calling it a vision board. It is an action board. It is an action board, and choosing to see a vision board as an action board completely changed things for me. It's because it's not just what we're seeing, it's what we're doing with what we're seeing. 2025, this year, was a year that I took aligned action with the things I saw on my vision board. I'm going to give a few examples of this. First, on my action board, going to Paris, right? And I wanted to meet aligned connections in Paris. And so here, ironically, is a picture that I had on my action board. And then here are the pictures that I ended up actually taking in Paris. And it's just so crazy because it was three women together, all classy, having a good time. And that's exactly what I met in Paris. And then I took pictures at the same location. The same location. I didn't even go out seeking this location. I simply asked a friend, I was like, do you know where this is? She's like, I know where this is. It's like, I don't know, without meeting that specific person, I wouldn't have known where that exact location was. And then voila, found the exact location, took pictures identical to that, which is just mind blowing to me. Another thing on my action board that actually happened, I'm living it right now. I'm at Columbia University. I applied for graduate school and I got in. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't have this like incredible, outstanding resume full of a bunch of things that Ivy Leagues typically look for, but there were things that happened before I was admitted into Columbia University for graduate school. And I took aligned action that I would not have taken otherwise. But truly, looking at that action board and then taking action based off of what I was seeing is what allowed me to get into this university. And I stand on that. Every day I was doing research, I emailed professors. There were a bunch of different aligned actions I took that led me to this moment in time. So, before we get into how to create an action board and actually get into the groove of taking aligned action, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Liv. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here for some time now. My mission here is to align you with the best authentic version of yourself so that you can live a life that you truly love, and we're doing it together. If you are interested, I have a podcast version of these YouTube videos. The link for that is in the description box below, along with all of my social medias and a link to chat with me if you are interested in doing so. So, first things first, when it comes to this action board, is to get your scheduler out, because a lot of the aligned action that you will be taking for this action board is something that you can choose to implement into your daily schedule. So for example, before going to Paris, okay, I had in my agenda days that I was going to look up running clubs and start following them on Instagram, and I had to download Strava, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and downloading Strava connected me with a bunch of different running clubs, but I would not have known that if I did not take aligned action by putting in my agenda to look up running clubs in Paris that I could join. And along with that, I also downloaded Bumble BFF. So that's how I also met some connections. I also have Raya, so I was able to meet connections through there as well. But the point of this is that when you are choosing, like, I am going to make friends, or I am going to go to this place, or I am going to do this, when you put things in your schedule that align with that, then you are taking aligned action that is matching up with your action board. So let's say you're like, I want to get fit, or I want to travel here. Start doing the research on that. Like, look up what the flight is to Turks and Caicos. Even if it seems like it's out of your price range right now, still look it up. Because once you take that first step of aligned action, then other ideas start to come to your mind, like, okay, I'm going to apply for this position, or okay, I'm going to start saving like this. Your mind begins to come up with ideas when you choose to take aligned action that matches up with what's on your action board. When it comes to fitness, it's like you can look at a picture of your ideal body type all day, but if you don't put in your agenda or your scheduler, like, this day I'm going to work out, this day I'm going to pick up groceries that align with that ideal body type, then, looking at that picture is not going to do much. This is why I am calling it an action board now, because when you look at the picture, you're going to take action based off of what you are looking at. For example, this is a picture that I printed off for my action board this year. I love to get paid for doing something that I love. This is going to click into my mind to look out for opportunities and positions and take action that aligns me with abundant opportunities doing things that I love. Just based off looking at the picture, yes, it's a reminder, but what are you going to do with this reminder? I'm not going to look at this picture in the morning and then say, okay, like I'm going to go on with my day doing things that are the opposite of that. No, I'm going to, take a look at my agenda. What can I do this weekend that's going to align me with that picture? I can begin to look up opportunities or apply for things. Like the internet is so helpful. It's like in this day and age, I know obviously there's the negative side effects to things too, which I'm doing a lot of studying about right now in school about how to take advantage of this now AI era that we're entering, but that's a whole other conversation. I'll make a video on that later. This is another picture I'm putting on my action board. And if you've never watched the show Suits, Jessica Pearson is like this fierce, baddie businesswoman who gets stuff done. And I printed off a picture of her because I like her aesthetic. Like, I like the classy way she dresses, and I like how she presents herself, and I like what she represents in the show. Okay, so I printed off this picture because I'm gonna look at that and then take inspiration based off of how I choose to show up and how I choose to dress, etc. No, I'm not gonna be like a copy and paste version of Jessica Pearson, but I'm going to take inspiration from her and choose to show up in ways that align with the action that inspires me. So for that, if I'm choosing to go shopping one day, I'm not going to buy the clothes that I have been buying that don't align with this ideal version I see of myself. Another example. So this is a picture of a woman public speaking. I'm not just going to look at this picture and be like, okay, like it's just going to fall into my lap. It can happen that way too, but I choose to put things in my schedule like, okay, look up public speaking workshops, or look at opportunities to public speak here, or where in school can you choose to public speak. And that one's actually already in process because I'm taking workshops for public speaking, etc., and finding opportunities where I'm able to public speak more because I know that's something I would like to improve within myself. And on my action board, I didn't bring this picture, it's at home, but I have a picture that's like confident, incredible speaker, whatever. Because I also put quotes on my action board that align with the character I envision myself truly embracing. So I say all this to say that we are going to be printing off pictures for our 2026 action board 100%. But with those pictures, we are going to choose to put things in our 2026 agendas that align with the pictures we are putting up on our action board. So for you, like what pictures are you putting up for career, for relationships, for health, beauty, fitness, finances? What are the pictures that you are putting up that align with those different areas of your life? And then what action are you scheduling into your daily schedule based off of those pictures you are putting up? If you're someone who wants to meet new friends this year that truly align with you, look up ways you can meet people in your city. For me, yes, there's Bumble BFF, but there's also things you can find on Instagram and events you can go to. I was also a part of this membership Meet Connections in New York thing called Parlor for a bit too. And you'll never know if it's for you if you don't go out and try it. So that was another thing for me. It's like, I don't know if this really aligns with me, but how am I going to really know if it aligns with me if I don't go out there and put myself in that position? Right. When I first got to New York, it was difficult. It was a challenge because I was like wanting to find friends and I was finding friends, but they were friends that were just here in town for a little bit and now they've traveled back to where they're originally from. And now I'm really looking to find friends in New York that are here and that I can, create like a real grounded friendship with where we can support each other and blase blase. Like these are all things that I'm taking aligned action on each and every week. And it's up to you if you want to make it a part of your daily schedule or if you want to make it a part of your weekly schedule. Because yes, so many different components to life and stuff gets busy. But what can you do weekly or consistently that truly grows that area of your life that you have put on your action board? And I truly want you to romanticize this experience. Like me the other day when I was creating my schedule for 2026, because yes, I've already started writing for January because I have gotten my spring semester schedule. So I was like writing about like what my morning routine is going to look like and my class schedule and, all of these things that I'm envisioning for myself. And I went to a cafe and I got this really yummy latte and I just sat down and I truly soaked in the experience because it's fun. You are literally planning for what your year is going to bring next year. And you don't know exactly how these things are going to come about, but choosing to put yourself in spaces, choosing to show up in spaces is the first step. And then other things also gravitate towards you through putting yourself in those spaces. There are so many things that, like, I'm just putting myself in the space, showing up as my best authentic self, and seeing what comes from it. That's half the fun. Honestly, you don't need to know exactly how it's going to come into fruition, but at least putting yourself in those spaces is the first step to making sure that you are in the environments that are going to continue growing the plant that you are, the flower that you are, the rose that you are, whatever you want to say. Because a flower in soil that does not serve them, in environments that does not serve them, won't blossom in the way that it's meant to. If you put a flower that needs a ton of water into a space where there's no water and it's just dry soil, the flower will wilt and it won't blossom. But if you choose to put the flower in soil where it's being rained on and it's getting nutrients, it's getting sunlight, all the things it needs, the things it knows it needs, it's going to blossom. Okay? It doesn't even know what days the rain or the sun or the shade is going to come, but it just knows it is going to come because it put itself in that position for it to come. Another thing, it's easy to look at everything and be like, whoa, this is a lot. But over time, these small courses of action will build up. Will build up. If you work out one day, the next day you wake up, you're like, oh, I don't see anything that has changed. It's because it's not that one day where things are going to change. It's continuing to do the same thing every day or every week that over time is going to show you just how much you've changed. So for me, in order to truly fit in everything I'd like to do action wise, I do have to wake up earlier, but that's just how I like to do things. And I know for some people, they want to stay up later, and that's their thing. So you really also have to just find the routine and the schedule that works for you and your unique lifestyle. Because, especially on social media, there's so many things like wake up at 5 a.m., have a green juice, go run 3 miles. And it's like, for some people, that's the ideal life that works for them and their best blossoming and growth, but for you it could be something completely different, and it's important to embrace that, the fact that you are different and you need different things. That's cool too. So trying out new things, I feel like in this last month of December, it's the perfect time to prepare for this 2026 locked in routine. Right, of course, it's going to change and evolve over time, but just starting off with a base of things that you truly admire and like, try these things out in December and see how it goes. Another thing I want to talk about is the fact that the only reason why you crave or desire these things you're putting on your action board is because your future self is literally calling you to this thing. And this is also the reason why jealousy may exist. If you look at something and you're like, I'm jealous, like I want that, it's only because you are meant to have that. Like, do not take jealousy as this negative thing. It's inspiration. It's looking at something and saying, I see that for myself. Perfect. Do you see that for yourself? Let's take the steps. Let's put in the action, the aligned action that will take you that direction. And it all starts with implementing those small habits and rituals into your daily and weekly routine. We have been learning about quantum physics a lot in class, and it speaks about the art of observation. And the art of observation is pretty much when you choose to observe something, that's what becomes the highest probability to actually occur. That's why when, let's just say, you're dating someone who has a black BMW, all of a sudden you're seeing black BMWs everywhere on the highway, everywhere on the streets. It's not because there were less black BMWs before. It's because now you're choosing to observe black BMWs, which is why there's a higher probability of you noticing them, which is why they're more prevalent in your life now. This also explains things like our past. The reason why the past repeats itself, even though it doesn't necessarily need to, is because we have remnants of the past with us in our present selves, which causes us to see synchronicities that align with our past. When if we choose to leave things in the past that we don't favor, right, and we choose to observe new things that's when new things begin to form synchronicities in our life because we're choosing to observe those new things rather than those past things. So, quantum physics, it's crazy how strong our minds are. We have these things in our brain cells called microtubules, and they're like human antenna that pick up signals from the quantum field, which I believe is God, and it gives us these hits of intuition that cause us to take specific action. And that's a whole other conversation. But the point of what I'm saying right now is the art of observation, choosing to observe the things that you see for yourself in a way that's like, yes, I see this, I see it in my life, and I'm now going to choose to implement little habits into my day and my week that align with that vision I see for myself. Action boards only. I'm only calling it an action board now. Vision board, who? Vision board, who? Another thing with the action board, it's important to look at every day, whether this is like on your phone or you want to set it up in your room or you both, okay? But choosing to look at that and then looking at your schedule and being like, am I taking steps and actions that are aligned with that, with what I see? So, perfect. Go out there and make those action boards and let's get this new era started. I have a really good feeling about 2026. I really do. I have a really good feeling about 2026. Yes, we're in the era of AI and things are moving very fast paced and there's so many things going on in the world, but there's just this intuitive feeling that 2026 is going to bring a whole lot of positive, new, abundant vibes as well. So, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm excited to be on this journey with you all. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Remember that you are completely capable of becoming the authentic, best version of yourself, and that everything is always working out for you, no matter what it seems like at any given point in time. I will see you in the next video. Action boards only.